Hang on. Hmm? Where's my husband? The front door of the house next door opened, and a stunningly beautiful woman I'd never seen before suddenly asked me that question. Ah, I didn't see anyone else. I had just stepped out of my own house, and the familiar-sounding question threw me for a loop. Part one, the woman looked at me, a slight frown creasing her brow. And you are. Even her frown held a touch of melancholy that was strangely captivating. I snapped back to reality and gave her a polite smile. Oh, I'm your neighbor. From right here. I was actually meaning to talk to you about something. Her tone remained flat, detached. Oh, what is it? I explained my reason for being there. The plants on your patio have started growing over to my side, and with summer here, it's attracting a lot of mosquitoes. She raised an eyebrow, looking at me. Okay, and? I kept a smile on my face. I was just wondering if you could maybe trim them back a bit, and maybe plant some citronella, or something to keep the bugs away. The woman nodded once, then shut the door in my face. Right, got it. I stood there on her doorstep for a long moment, my mind reeling. How could a woman that perfect even exist? Too bad she was married. Wasn't she just looking for her husband? When I got back to my place, I couldn't get the image of her out of my head. Just then, the voice of my living girlfriend, Chloe, cut through the air. Did you talk to her? I turned to look at her. Huh? Oh yeah, I did. What did she say? Chloe pressed. I shrugged. She said she got it. The mere mention of the topic set Chloe off, and once she started, she couldn't stop. What does got it even mean? The whole reason we got this place was for the patio, so we could chill out here in the evenings. And now, forget chilling. You go out there, and you're a walking mosquito buffet. And God knows what they're using for fertilizer over there. I swear the whole place is starting to smell like a damn sewer. I nodded along. Look, she said she'd handle it, so I'm sure she will. I headed for my studio, tried to escape the impending lecture. I'm telling you, I can tolerate this for one more week. If she hasn't done anything by then. Chloe followed me right to the studio door, still ranting. I walked in and shut the door behind me. She immediately pushed it back open, glaring. What's your problem? I sat down at my desk and glanced at her in the doorway. No problem. I just have to get to work. Ethan, are you sick of me? She asked, her voice sharp. I did my best to keep my cool. No, I just have to work. Is it because my mom asked you for money again? Is that it? She continued, her voice rising. My brother's in his senior year. It's a critical time. My mom has to be there to make sure he's focused on his college applications. That's why she can't work right now. We're not even married, and you're already sick of me and my family. What's it going to be like if we actually get married? I gritted my teeth. I didn't say anything, did I? I gave her the money, didn't I? You gave it to her, but you had that look on your face the whole time. Who was that for? I took a deep breath. I'm sorry. Next time, I'll be sure to hand over the cash with a huge smile on my face. Okay? Now, can I please get to work? If I don't work, where am I going to get the money to give to your mom? Chloe snorted, muttering something under her breath as she finally pulled the door shut. But after she left, I was in no mood to work. I just stared out the window, lost in thought. I didn't know how much more of this I could take. I felt like I was already at my breaking point. It wasn't about supporting Chloe's mother and brother, exactly. It was the way they acted like I owed them. If they'd just shown a little gratitude, a smile, a simple thank you, maybe it wouldn't have gotten me so much. But if I ever hesitated or didn't seem cheerful enough about handing over my money, it became a whole big thing. And Chloe never tried to see my side. It was always a barrage of complaints, accusing me of not being good enough to her family. Just then, I saw her through the window, the beautiful woman from next door. She was standing on her patio. Part two, seeing her was like opening a floodgate of inspiration. I immediately grabbed my iPad and started sketching her. Oh, right. I should mention, I'm a webcomic creator. I felt like this woman was wrapped in a kind of sorrow you couldn't quite put your finger on. Even through the glass, I could sense she was full of stories. Of course, that could have just been my imagination. She finished watering her plants quickly and went back inside. I'd only managed to sketch a rough outline. The rest would have to come from memory. I tried to recall the moment I met her at her door. Her features were exquisite, her eyes deep yet languid, holding a mysterious distance. Her lips were perfectly shaped, complementing the contours of her face. Her tall, full figure was veiled in a thin nightgown, creating a perfect silhouette. Her long hair, cascaded over her shoulders, strategically covering the key parts of her chest, and I imagined it smelled faintly fragrant. A drawing that would normally take me a few hours ended up taking me the entire night. Every time I thought I was finished, something fell off. The look in her eyes wasn't right, or the mood was wrong. I revised it again and again. A few days later, I was in my studio drawing when I saw her in her garden again. It seemed she remembered my request. She was holding a pair of shears, trimming the branches that had reached over to my side. I slid my glass door open and stepped onto my patio, giving her a polite smile. Gardening? She barely glanced at me, her response cool. Yep. I could feel the chill from her. She clearly wasn't interested in making small talk with her new neighbor, seeming far more focused on the flowers in front of her. I tried to break the ice again. Your husband back yet? I saw her flinch just for a second before her voice turned icy again. No, he's not back. With that, she gathered her tools and went back inside. I let out a wry chuckle. Well, so much for that. Over the next few days, I learned from the property manager that her name was Maya Hayes. What a beautiful name. I had a deadline looming, so I locked myself in my studio. Chloe was used to this and didn't bother me. I ordered DoorDash when I was hungry. She went out to eat since she didn't cook anyway. After the crunch was over and I finally had a moment to breathe, Chloe found something new to fight about. She stormed out in a huff. I was used to it. I didn't chase her. She'd be back when she cooled off. I was sitting in my studio, smoking a cigarette, when I saw Maya in her garden again, planting some new flowers she must have just bought. I went out onto the patio, trying to start a conversation again. Those are beautiful. What are they called? If she likes flowers, I'll talk about flowers, I thought. Surely that would work. And it did, sort of. She looked up at me. Her gaze was still distant, but she answered simply, peonies. I wanted to ask her more about planting and caring for them, but she had already turned away to tend to her other plants, ignoring me again. I smiled to myself. The exchange was brief, but it was better than a one-word answer. It was a start. I went back to my studio, picked up my iPad, and started drawing her again. She was wearing a pale blue sundress that fluttered in the breeze. The hems swayed gently, making her look like a rare, blooming orchid. Looking at Maya, my inspiration went into overdrive. I could already picture an entire comic series with her as the protagonist. I even had a title in mind, The Garden Next Door. Part 3 When Inspiration Strikes. You can't stop it. I started work on a new series immediately. One day, after pulling an all-nighter, I was crashing in the guest room when Chloe shook me awake. I opened my groggy eyes. What's wrong? She shoved my iPad in my face. Why are you drawing her? I understood immediately and flopped back onto the bed. I'm brainstorming a new comic. I was stuck, so I used her as a model, that's all. Chloe dragged me back up. Are you into her? My brow furrowed. I've used attractive strangers I see on the street as models before. You never had a problem with that. That's different. Those were random people. She lives right next door. And besides, you've never used me as a model. I was exhausted. I fell back again. Chloe, don't be ridiculous, all right? I'm dead tired. But she wouldn't let it go, pulling at me, refusing to let me sleep. That's when I snapped. What is your problem? I have my reasons for choosing my models. Seeing me angry only fueled her fire. Fine. So you're sick of me, is that it? She stormed off. I was relieved for the peace and quiet and didn't bother going after her. But then I heard her pounding on the neighbor's door. Maya opened her door, and before she could say a word, Chloe pushed her way inside. You shameless homewrecker. You have a husband, and you're still trying to seduce mine? She tried to show Maya the drawings on the iPad. Look, see what you've done to him. Maya glanced at the screen and then said coolly, I don't know what you're talking about. What does this drawing have to do with me? Chloe put her hands on her hips. Nothing to do with you? He's drawing you. If it has nothing to do with you, does it have something to do with me? Maya just shrugged, completely unfazed. Then you should be asking your boyfriend, not me. Now, please get out. I could hear them arguing from my house. I rushed over and dragged Chloe out of there, turning back to Maya. I'm so sorry. Maya didn't say a word, just slammed the door shut with a loud bang. Enraged, Chloe threw my iPad onto the concrete walkway. It shattered instantly. That was it. That iPad contained all of my work. I saw red. Seeing my fury, Chloe took off running. I didn't even bother with her. I carefully gathered the pieces of my iPad and drove to the Apple store. I didn't expect them to fix it. I just prayed they could recover the files. Thankfully, the tech was a genius. He managed to transfer all my work to a new iPad. It cost me the price of a new device, but at least my work was safe. For the next few days, Chloe ghosted me. I didn't try to find her. I was used to this game. One day, I was on the patio organizing my art files on my new iPad when a voice came from next door. "Did you draw all of these?" I looked up. Maya was standing on her patio, looking over at me. I quickly nodded. "Hey, listen, I'm really sorry about the other day." My girlfriend was completely out of line. Maya just shrugged, not responding to the apology. Instead, she asked again, "So why did you draw me?" I explained that I was a comic artist and that sometimes when I hit a creative wall, I look for inspiration in the world around me. I told her I'd done the same thing with other beautiful women I'd seen on the street. Finally, I added, "If it makes you uncomfortable, I'll change it." She shrugged again. "I don't care, as long as your girlfriend doesn't." I subconsciously corrected her. "She's just my girlfriend. We're not married." Maya just gave a flat "oh," and at that exact moment, I heard someone pounding on my front door. I frowned, walked over, and opened it. It was Chloe's mom and her brother, Kyle. The second she was inside, Chloe's mom threw herself on the floor and started wailing like a banshee. "You monster! Chloe was so good to you, and this is how you treat her? You're trying to kill us." She'd pulled this stunt more than once. I was sick of it. My work required peace and quiet, and these two were constantly stirring up drama. Combined with everything else, I had reached my limit. "Enough. Cut the act." Her mom stopped mid-wail, stunned. This tactic had always worked on me before. She had no idea that I'd only ever given in just to make the problem go away, so I could get back to work. But that compromise had never earned me any understanding or respect. I decided I was done tolerating them. She started crying again. "How dare you talk to me like that? You're already sick of us. What's it going to be like after you're married?" Kyle's eyes were wide with anger. "You kicked my sister out, and now you're bullying my mom? I'll kill you." He started rampaging through my living room, knocking things off shelves and tables. I had had enough. The rage that had been building for years finally exploded. "That's it. If you think I'm so terrible, then go find someone else. For 3 years, what have I been to your family? An ATM? Well, I'm done. Get the hell out of my house." I rounded on Kyle. "You think you're tough? Every cent for your fancy high school, your tutors, your family's bills, and every single thing you break today, I'm putting it on a tab, and you're going to pay me back." Kyle froze. His mother, however, kept going. "Is that any way to talk? Chloe cooked and cleaned for you. She took care of you. And now you're just throwing her away? You owe us an explanation, or I'll die right here in your house." I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "Took care of me? In 3 years, has she washed a single piece of my clothing? Cooked a single meal? I live on DoorDash, and she eats out at restaurants every night. And you, her mother, have you ever said a word to her about it? No. All you know how to do is ask for money. And even that's not enough. All I ever get from her is complaining and criticism. I'm so damn sick of it." Kyle lunged at me. "How dare you talk about my sister? How dare you talk about my mom?" He was no match for me. I grabbed his wrist and twisted it hard. "You trashed my house, and now you're trying to assault me. I'm calling the cops. I guess you don't really care about getting into college." Hearing that, his mom's tone changed instantly. "Kyle, don't be rash. We're here to stand up for your sister, not to get into a fight." I pulled out my phone and dialed 9-1-1. "Are you leaving? Or should I hit send?" They had no choice but to leave. As he walked out, Kyle pointed a finger at me, a look of defiance on his face. I had just shut the door when I heard a commotion from next door. A sudden dread filled me. They wouldn't be harassing Maya, would they? I threw my door open and saw that Maya's was open too. Kyle and his mom had already forced their way inside. I ran over just in time to see Chloe's mom swinging her hand at Maya's face. "You bitch!" she screamed. "Seducing my daughter's man. I'll kill you, you damn homewrecker." I rushed in and pulled her off of Maya. "What the hell are you doing?" I roared. Seeing me defending Maya only made her angrier. So Chloe was right. You did cheat on her. I pulled out my phone again, done with their games, and started to call the police for real. The moment they saw the phone, they panicked, probably worried about how it would affect Kyle's future. They scrambled out of the house and disappeared. Maya took my phone from my hand. "Don't call. I am okay." Part 5. Looking at her face, which was already red and started to swell, I felt a pang of something that felt a lot like heartache. We can't just let this go, I told her. Don't worry about protecting me. I'm done with them. Maya just shook her head. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. You should go. I need to be alone. Seeing the look on her face, I could only nod. I'm so sorry. It seems like I'm always causing trouble for you. She didn't reply, which I took as my cue to leave. I didn't know what else to do, so I went home and started packing up all of Chloe's things. Once I was done, I called her. I've packed your stuff. You can come get it whenever. She sounded incredulous. What does that mean? Are you breaking up with me? I lit a cigarette and said calmly, yes. I've had enough of you and your family. I hung up before she could say another word. I thought that would be the end of it. But a few days later, I went downstairs to buy a pack of cigarettes. Just as I stepped out of our complex, someone hit me over the head from behind. I staggered, my vision swimming, before collapsing to the ground. 3 or 4 guys started kicking and punching me. My head was spinning, but through the haze I saw Kyle. You done my sister? He yelled, kicking me in the ribs. I'll kill you, you scumbag. Just then, a police cruiser on patrol happened to drive by. Kyle and his friends were caught red-handed. I was taken to the hospital. My head was throbbing, and I had a huge lump, but the doctor said it was just a mild concussion. Nothing serious. Kyle, however, was in deep trouble. His friends immediately rolled on him, telling the cops they were just helping him out. Soon enough, my phone rang. It was Chloe. Ethan, I'm so sorry about Kyle. He's just a kid. He has his whole life ahead of him. He's supposed to be applying to college. He can't have his future ruined over this. The police said if you agree to drop the charges, they won't pursue it. He won't have a record. I laughed a cold, empty sound. And why would I do that? So I just take a beating for nothing. No, I'm not signing anything. I hung up, gave my statement to the police, and went home. I had just gotten back when there was a knock at the door. Fearing it was Chloe, I called out, "Who is it?" "Ethan, it's me." Chloe's voice came through the door. "Please, just come with me to the station. I'm begging you. Can you really live with yourself, knowing you ruined Kyle's future when he's so young?" I scoffed. "Easily. He's not my brother. I already let him off the hook once for trashing my house. There are no more second chances." She kept knocking. "Ethan, please, for the 3 years we were together, just let this go. Look, whatever he broke, we'll pay for it, okay?" I hadn't even thought about that, but hearing her say it gave me an idea. "That's a given. But do you think that's all I've lost?" "You weren't even seriously hurt," she shot back. "Fine. Whatever your medical bills were, I'll pay them. Is that what you want? Do you really think I care about that little bit of money?" "Then what else is there?" she asked, exasperated. "For the past few years, how much have I spent on my future brother-in-law's tuition and tutors? How much have I given my future mother-in-law for her living expenses?" There was a pause. "Ethan, you gave that money willingly." "I did," I agreed. "For my future family. We're broken up. They're not my future anything anymore, are they?" Her voice turned cold. "Wow. So this is your game, Ethan. This is what you've been planning. Then go home," I said flatly. "Let the police handle it. I don't need your money anyway." Part 6. Chloe left in a fury, shouting, "We'll see if I can't get Kyle out without your help," as she went. I didn't care. I went back to my bed. I'd get one thing out of this. Either my money back or my satisfaction. It was their choice. The next day, I was sitting on my patio, smoking. Maya came out to water her flowers. She saw the bandage on my head and realized I'd been hurt. I saw a flicker of concern in her eyes, and it stirred something in me. Just then, my phone rang. It was Chloe's mom. I knew it. Chloe couldn't solve anything. They needed me to drop the charges. I answered, and she immediately launched into her whole crying and screaming routine. I just listened without saying a word. When she realized it wasn't working, her tone changed. "Ethan, please. I'm begging you this time. Let Kyle go." "Not a chance," I said. He didn't seem too concerned about letting me go when he was hitting me over the head with a piece of wood. "Then what do you want? You want to hit me to get your anger out? You think I'm an idiot like you? That's assault. Look, I'm busy and my head hurts. Goodbye." "No, wait," she said quickly. "Just tell us what to do. We need to solve this. Kyle can't miss his chance to go to college." "I already told Chloe the solution," I said. "But you haven't given us that much over 3 years. And it's not like I kept receipts." "Don't worry," I said. "It was all through Venmo and Zelle. I have records. I'll send them to you." She went quiet. I started screenshotting the transaction histories and texting them to her. A moment later, her text came back. This much? It can't be this much. I replied, really? And after all that, your precious daughter still had the nerve to say I was cheap and didn't treat you well. I don't have this kind of money. That sounds like your problem. I texted back. When the money's in my account, I'll go to the station. I put my phone down and saw Maya was still there, watching me. I gave her an embarrassed smile and started to explain what was going on. Before I could finish, she turned to her flowers. You don't have to explain to me. I smiled awkwardly. She was right. Why was I telling her all this? That's when I noticed something else. There were bruises on Maya's arms. A thought struck me. How did you get those bruises? Did Chloe's family come back to bother you? The moment I said it, she pulled down her sleeves. No. A surge of anger went through me. They came after you again? That's it. There's no way in hell I'm signing that agreement. It really wasn't them, she said quickly. They haven't been back. She seemed genuinely distressed, and I didn't think she was lying. Then the bruises on your arms. She just shook her head. It has nothing to do with you. With that, she turned and went back inside her house. I was stunned. I had a feeling she was hiding something. Just then, my phone buzzed with a text from Chloe. If we send you the money, you'll drop the charges? I replied, send the money first. After I confirm it's all there, we'll talk. The line went dead. A few minutes later, I got a notification from my bank. A direct deposit. $45,800. I froze. I knew I'd spent a lot on her family over the years, but I'd never actually calculated it. Could it really be that much? I opened my banking apps and did a rough calculation. If anything, they had lowballed it. I decided not to count the money I'd spent directly on Chloe. We were dating. Spending money on your girlfriend is normal. I wasn't petty enough to demand back every cent from the relationship. My phone rang again. It was Chloe. Are we good now? We're at the police station waiting for you. Part 7, I went to the station, signed the affidavit to drop the charges, and walked out without a second glance. Chloe ran after me, grabbing my arm. Ethan, I must have been blind to ever fall for someone like you. Ich glänzte her. The feeling's mutual. Let's both try to have better judgment from now on. Kyle looked like he wanted to lunge at me again, but his mother held him back. Don't, Kyle, you have to think about college. After that, Chloe came by another time to get the last of her things. And that was it. The connection between me, Chloe, and her family was completely severed. Life returned to my old bachelor routine. Drawing, eating, sleeping. When I had downtime, I'd sit on the patio, have a smoke, and admire Maya's flowers. Occasionally, I'd see her out there tending to them, but the foul smell from her garden was getting worse. One day, I saw her outside and mentioned it. You know, I was looking online, and you can buy organic fertilizer that doesn't smell. You don't have to use, the natural stuff. She looked at me, stunned. Is the smell that bad? I nodded. It wasn't so bad before, but now that it's getting warmer, it's pretty strong. A look of pure panic crossed her face as she stared at her garden, lost in thought. It was just a suggestion, I said quickly. No big deal. She snapped back to reality and nodded. Oh, right. I'll take care of it. As the weather warmed up, Maya started wearing short sleeves, and the bruises on her arms and legs were more visible. They didn't look new. They looked like they had been there for a long time. A thought popped into my head. Your husband. I don't think I've ever seen him. Maya looked flustered, avoiding my eyes. Oh, he travels a lot for work. He's gone for long stretches. Those bruises, I pressed gently. They aren't from Chloe's family, are they? Did your husband do that to you? Her face went pale, and she stared at me in shock. No, of course not. Her denial only confirmed my suspicion. Domestic abuse is a crime, Maya. You have to protect yourself. She just stared at me, lost for words. Don't be afraid, I said softly. If you need help, I can help you. Maya just nodded. Thank you. He hasn't done anything in a long time. I know how to protect myself. I don't want anyone else getting involved. I nodded, though my heart ached for her. What is wrong with this guy? To have a wife as beautiful as Maya, and to treat her like that? How could he bring himself to lay a hand on her? But it was their business. I was an outsider. I'd said what I could. If she wouldn't report it herself, there was nothing I could do. Some time passed. My webcomic series, The Garden Next Door, finally finished its run. My editor told me it was a hit, even more successful than my previous works. That evening, I bought some barbecue and a six-pack of craft beer and sat on my patio to celebrate alone. I noticed that the foul smell from Maya's garden was gone. In its place was the sweet fragrance of several new flowers she'd planted. When Maya came out on her own patio, I told her about my comic success and thanked her for being my inspiration. She smiled. "Where is it published? I like to read it sometime." I told her the name of the platform, Webtoon, and she nodded. On impulse, I made a casual offer. "Have you eaten? You're welcome to join me." To my surprise, she looked at me for a moment, then walked over and sat down in the chair next to mine. Our patios were only separated by a low, symbolic railing. The scent of her perfume mixed with the fragrance of the flowers, and my heart began to pound. Part 8, I offered Maya a plate and a fork, but she was staring at my beer. "Can you pour one for me?" I was taken aback. "Do you drink?" She nodded with a small smile. "A little should be okay." I poured half a glass for her. She took it and downed it in one go. "Whoa, you can't drink beer like that," I said. "Have some food first." She nodded, ate a few bites of brisket, then held her glass out for another. I could tell she was trying to get drunk. Looking at the faint bruises on her skin, I realized she had been holding so much in and just needed a release. I didn't stop her. After 3 glasses, her face was flushed. She clearly had a low tolerance. She looked at me, her eyes hazy. "I wish I had met you sooner." My heart skipped a beat. She didn't elaborate, just drank another glass and was clearly done for. Her words started to slur. I quickly helped her up. "You've had too much. You can't drink anymore. Let's get you inside." Maya nodded slightly and leaned against my shoulder, going limp. I supported her as I walked her over to her house, laid her down on her bed, and pulled a blanket over her. Then I left as quickly as I could. My mind was racing with fantasies, but I didn't dare do anything. She was a married woman. If her husband came home and found me there, it would only mean more trouble for her. Back on my patio, I had no desire to drink anymore. I just stood there, letting the night breeze cool my head. I looked at the flowers in Maya's garden, but all I could see was her face. I was developing some kind of strange, special feeling for her. And that's when I noticed it. The soil in one part of her garden looked like it had been recently turned over. The color was darker, different from the surrounding dirt. I instinctively crouched down to get a closer look, and that's when I smelled it again, that faint, foul odor. I found a small garden trowel and pushed it into the dark patch of soil. It hit something solid underneath. I dug a little more, and then I saw it, the corner of a black contractor bag. The smell was coming from inside it. My curiosity got the better of me. What could be in there that smelled so awful? Just as I was about to untie the bag, I felt a sharp pain in the back of my head, and the world went black. When I woke up, I was tied to a chair in Maya's living room. She was standing in front of me, a look of profound conflict and anguish on her face. A wooden garden stake was clutched in her trembling hands. I could see a flicker of something terrifying in her eyes. Murder. In that instant, everything clicked into place. I knew what was in the bag. "Why, Maya?" I asked, my voice hoarse. Seeing I was awake, she panicked. Tears streamed down her face. "I didn't mean to," she sobbed. "He was always hitting me. I just pushed him just a little push, and he fell. I never wanted to kill him." Her confession confirmed my deepest fears. No wonder her husband had never been around. He was dead, buried in her flower garden. That day she opened the door and asked, "Where's my husband?" It was all an act to create the illusion that he had just left. I forced myself to stay calm and try to soothe her. "Turn yourself in, Maya. He was abusing you. You said it was an accident. The court will go easy on you. Just untie me. I won't hurt you. I won't call the police. We'll only go if you're ready. I'll go with you." Maya hesitated, then finally untied the ropes. I stood up, rubbing my numb wrists. Seeing her tear-streaked, helpless face, my heart filled with an overwhelming sense of pity. She looked at me suddenly. "I can't turn myself in. I'm still young. What if we just left? We could run away, go somewhere nobody knows us. We could be together forever, and no one would ever find out." My heart leaped, but my rational mind held on. To be honest, over the past few weeks, I had developed feelings for Maya, but I had always kept them in check because she was married. Now, hearing her say this, I knew it wasn't one-sided. But even so, I had to tell her the truth. Running isn't the answer. If we run, we'll spend the rest of our lives looking over our shoulders. We'll be living like ghosts. She looked at me, her face a mask of despair. No, I can't. I'm too scared. I gently pulled her into my arms. Don't be scared, I whispered. I'll be with you. No matter what happens, I'll be right there. I'll get you the best lawyer. And I'll wait for you. Everything I said up to that point, I meant sincerely. I truly wanted to help her. But that last part, I'll wait for you. I don't know where that came from. Part 9. Maya clung to me, sobbing uncontrollably. I wish I had met you sooner. I gently patted her back. There are no what-ifs in life. What happened, happened. We just have to face it. She stayed in my arms for a long time, without speaking. Finally, she slowly pushed me away. Okay, I'll go to the police tomorrow morning. I nodded, relieved. Good. And remember, I'll always be there for you. But then, right in front of me, Maya started taking off her dress. I froze. The bruises covering her body were horrifying, a patchwork of old and new injuries. I was filled with a mix of pity, rage, and a profound sadness that made it hard to look. Do these scars bother you? She asked softly. I shook my head. No, not at all. They just make my heart hurt for you. She pulled my face toward hers and kissed me. Before I go, I want to give myself to you. What? I stammered. But we should wait until you get out. I don't know how many years that will be, she interrupted. I want a night. After tonight, I'll go turn myself in. I didn't say anything more. I just looked in her eyes and kissed her back. That night, we held each other as if time had stopped. Watching her sleep so peacefully, her face finally free from fear, all I could think about was what she had said. I wish I had met you sooner. If what I felt for Maya before was just a crush after that night, I knew I was truly in love with her. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of coffee. Maya was already in the kitchen, making breakfast. We ate together, our first meal. It felt surreal, like she had forgotten everything she'd promised last night. As I was about to remind her, she walked over to me. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Go where? She smiled a sad, beautiful smile. To turn myself in, of course. I nodded, and together, we went to the police station. With me by her side, she walked in and never looked back. After a long investigation and trial, Maya was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 12 years in prison. In the courtroom, when the verdict was read, she looked completely at peace. She glanced at me, her eyes full of gratitude. Her life in prison was structured and quiet. She participated in vocational training and counseling, trying to find some form of redemption. I visited her regularly. Seeing her in a prison uniform, her face a little paler, but her eyes still so resolute, always tore me apart. But she always put on a brave face for me, smiling through the glass, telling me not to worry. Until one visit, she looked at me and said, "You need to stop coming. I don't want you wasting your life on me." I shook my head frantically. "No, I told you I would wait for you." She gave a bitter smile. "Don't do this, Ethan. I don't want to drag you down anymore. You're young. You have your career, your future. Don't be tied to someone like me, someone with no future. You deserve someone better. Forget about me." I looked at her, my heart breaking. "I will wait. You are the best." She was silent for a moment. "But I don't want to live in the past," she finally said. "Go, Ethan. This is the last time I'll see you. I'm taking you off my visitor list." I knew she was doing it for my own good, but the thought of letting her go was unbearable. But looking at the unshakable resolve in her eyes, I knew there was nothing more I could say or do. I left the prison that day feeling completely lost, adrift in a sea of confusion. I don't know if I can ever truly forget her. I don't know if I can keep my promise and wait all those years, or if I should listen to her and try to start a new life. I really don't know.